Hello, my name is Frank Hannaway, and welcome to Big Journey, Small Steps. Well, today I'd like to talk to you about things that you shouldn't say to an Alzheimer's patient. I think that if somebody had talked to me about Alzheimer's, I knew, I had this idea of what the final stages of Alzheimer's were like and when people's memories got really bad, but I didn't know very much about the period where there's still a lot of function, there's still a lot of memories left, but everything is a little bit scrambled. Things are just really different. And from what I can tell from speaking to other people, it's a little different in everybody. I mean, there's no it's part of the reason it was hard to diagnose my mother was the doctors would all look at her and say, oh no, she doesn't have Alzheimer's. Well, surprise. So I thought I'd give you, so this will be a little bit, I hope, humorous. So the first thing that you'd never say to an Alzheimer's patient is, don't you remember? Because they don't. And it's interesting how you start to learn about how the memory works, that things slide in and slide out. And I know sometimes my mother will tell me she's been up all night trying to remember why a certain word is important or another. But she doesn't need me to say, oh, you remember when we went to the beach when I was 8 years old? She doesn't need to hear that. Another good one is, I told you yesterday. Well, yesterday's gone. And I find, myself repeating things over and over. Another thing I don't say is, you told me that. Because my mother says the same things in the same situations. It's kind of an interesting thing, a way that the mind is holding, or the brain in collaboration with the mind is holding on to things. So if we did this yesterday, we're going to do it again today exactly the same way. And she's not even aware of it. There's just this pattern. So I don't say, you already told me that 50 times, sometimes more. Some things she just says all the time. The other thing, this is what prompted this video as we were riding home in the car today, and my mother had dressed very warmly, and it was a warm day. It was windy outside, but she was convinced she'd be cold, and then she was roasting. And I do not say, I told you so. One thing I've learned about my family is that we have a tendency to contradict everything that people say, evidently. That's become really magnified in my mother, and no matter what I say, she contradicts me, and then when she finds out she's wrong, she doesn't take it back. It's just, I just have to remind myself, that she has this illness. The thing is that she was always that way. And is it really necessary that we correct people's facts all the time, especially when we may be wrong? Anyway, I hope maybe you found some humor in this, but the same strategies might work with teenagers when you have one. Certainly in that early stages of adolescence, like 12 to 15, where they've come here from another planet. So, I told you so. It doesn't work very well with them. They just get aggravated. Anyway, I just wanted to share that little tidbit of life with my mother, and thank you for taking time to listen. From the bottom of my heart, I'd like to wish you peace and joy.